This robot vacuum cleaner includes all the same features as other similar robots, but at almost half the price of the nearest competitor. Features include variable suction settings by surface type, mopping, self-emptying station, 360-degree LiDAR mapping, plus app and smart home control. In this video, I'll explore the features and the performance of the Airzeen Q10 Pro Robot Vacuum Cleaner, and I'm pleasantly surprised by the results. I'm a long-term user of robot vacuum cleaners to help maintain our home. That's why when Airzeen reached out and asked if I'd like to check out their own robot vacuum cleaner, I was excited. Their own Q10 Pro robot cleaner features a lot of advanced features included on competitive robots, but is priced significantly lower. Airzeen is a Chinese manufacturer that was previously unknown to me. The brand primarily focuses on the Chinese market, but began expanding into the North American and Western European markets in 2023. This expansion is primarily through direct-to-consumer sales on Amazon. After some research, I discovered their range of cleaners are priced at the mid-range to budget level, which will be appealing to price-conscious buyers and newcomers wanting to try a robot vacuum cleaner for the first time. Included in the box are the robot vacuum cleaner, the dustbin and water reservoir, the mop holder bracket, a side brush and replacement, 2 HEPA filters, 2 dust bags, and the base unit. You'll also receive 3 mop cloths which last between 6 to 12 months each depending on usage. In terms of design, the Q10 Pro is going to feel very familiar to any robot vacuum cleaner owner. On the top side you'll find the main sensor array for the LiDAR, which it uses as a primary way to navigate around your home and avoid obstacles. The power button can be used to start or pause cleaning with a short press, or you can use it to toggle the power on and off with a long press. The LED light built into the button will indicate the current status of the machine. A solid green light indicates the Q10 Pro is fully charged, currently operating or in standby mode. A flashing green light indicates the robot is in the middle of a firmware update. A solid yellow light indicates the robot is returning to its base station to recharge. A flashing yellow light indicates the robot is charging. A red light indicates a robot is experiencing an issue, which could include being stuck on an obstacle, a clogged or inoperable brush or vacuum channel, or other issue directly related to the robot. The base unit also features an LED status light that will shine solid white or flashing white during normal operation. If the LED is a solid red light or a flashing red light, it indicates there's an issue with the dust bag or the dust collector is potentially blocked. Underneath the robot you'll find the mopping module and detachable reservoir for the water. The configuration of the main drive wheels and universal wheel and side brush are almost identical to other robots. You'll also find 3 cliff sensors which tell the robot if there's a drop-off like a step to prevent it from tumbling down stairs or a ledge. Inside the base unit you'll find the dust bag chamber. On the front of the base are 2 infrared lights that help guide the robot back to the base unit to recharge and empty the dust collector. Setup is super straightforward. The key consideration is that the base unit needs to have at least 500 centimeters of clearance on either side, and no obstructions up to 1.2 meters in front of the unit. This is to help the robot with being able to successfully navigate back to the base unit. The other main step is to make sure that the water reservoir is filled with water. One thing the manual is very particular about is to make sure that the exterior of the mopping unit is dry, as while the robot can mop, the rest of the unit is not waterproof and any errant water ingress can damage the robot itself. Next step, you'll need to connect the Q10 Pro to the companion app. It's worth noting that the app is actually called Home AIoT by Dawnwind Technology, a separate software company. I've actually seen similar arrangements by Chinese companies, so it's not unusual. On the first use, the Q10 Pro will already be in pairing mode and the app will find the robot automatically, providing it's powered on. Then it's just a case of following the instructions to complete the setup. While the Q10 Pro is rated for 5,000 pascals of suction, it actually puts the Q10 Pro at the low end when comparing to other robots in the mid-range bracket. However, it's worth noting that the amount of pascals is not the only factor that determines a robot's ability to clean. Keeping in mind that the Q10 Pro is predominantly designed for use on hardwood floors, tiles and short hair carpets, it should be judged on its ability to actually do the job. Also, with more powerful motors comes more noise, so unless you have a very demanding requirement, a lower power rating might actually be more convenient. Personally, noise pollution is a big factor for me as we have a busy daily schedule in our family, and finding the optimal time to run the robot usually involves working around when it will be least disruptive. Thankfully, the Q10 Pro has 3 different power settings that automatically change based on the surface type or your manual settings. If the robot detects carpet, it will automatically increase the suction power in quiet or standard mode by 15% to compensate for the extra work needed to clean the fibres. The other key feature for the Q10 Pro is the inclusion of a 360-degree LiDAR sensor for navigation and mapping. For the price point, this is a great addition that even other brands include for a much higher price. The LiDAR is the primary hardware sensor, the spinning turret on top. It emits thousands of laser points per second to measure the distances and generate a high-precision 360-degree point map of the robot's environment, including walls, furniture and obstacles. The data generated is then passed through a simultaneous localization and mapping, or SLAM algorithm, to create a map of your home and also navigate intelligently. The extra precision will mean the robot is more likely not to miss sections of your floor. By comparison, our older but more expensive Roomba J7 Plus only uses cameras to navigate, which creates its own issues in low light conditions, reducing its ability to clean. The Q10 Pro even features a slightly larger capacity dust collector in the base unit compared to our J7 Plus. The marketing for the Q10 Pro suggests that you won't need to empty the dust bag in the base unit more than once every 60 days of average use. The mopping feature is new to our household, but I'm familiar with the technology in other similar robots. The built-in sensor ensures that the mopping feature is not deployed on carpet surfaces to avoid saturating them. The Q10 Pro also features a 3200 mAh battery, which is actually smaller than most competitors. However, given the lower suction power rating, the delta in battery capacity will potentially be less noticeable. The marketing suggests that the brand new Q10 Pro will run for 150 minutes, covering equivalent of 2,000 square feet in quiet mode. This actually puts the performance in the same bracket in terms of time as more expensive competitive models and more powerful suction motors. However, as with all robot vacuum cleaners, it's worth noting that by design, the Q10 Pro can return to the base unit to recharge if it hasn't finished cleaning, and then return to work after topping up. Unless you have very specific requirements based on the time spent cleaning, having the Q10 Pro perform a recharge cycle probably isn't going to be an issue, especially as the robot remembers where it left off, and will continue the current cleaning task to completion eventually. The final feature of note is that the Airzeen offers a 2-year warranty out of the box. Most brands only offer a 1-year manufacturer warranty by comparison. Once signed up and logged into the app, you can access the Q10 Pro on the device homepage list. If you have other devices that are compatible with the Home AIoT app, they'll be listed here. On first setup, tapping on the device will give you a guided tour of the app's functions, plus prompt you to start a mapping run for your home. As the Q10 Pro operates, it simultaneously creates a map of your home and suggests room boundaries and names for each area. Along the bottom navigation is where you can choose whether you want the robot to clean a specific area within a room by tapping on Room and then tapping on the area you want to clean. You can then press Start to clean just that room. If you want the Q10 Pro to clean all areas, you can tap Auto and then press Start. Or you can tap Zone and have the Q10 Pro clean a designated area by tapping on it within a room. If you tap on the mode icon, you can set whether the robot will only vacuum and mop, or only mop as part of its impending run. You can also set the suction level. If you've set the robot to mop, you can also set the water level on how much water is dispensed as part of the run too. Tapping on custom settings, you can adjust the vacuum settings by room during an auto or scheduled run. This is useful if some areas don't require to be mopped, or if an area requires higher suction settings for any reason, such as a carpeted area. At the top right is the map icon that you can use to make edits. You can also add no-go zones, such as the trailing power cable we have in our family room, or edit the rooms to match your layout. Add pet furniture to your rooms for the robot to avoid, and even adjust the sequence of rooms that the robot will clean. Specifically in Room Editor, you can merge any rooms that were automatically created, create further room divisions, and rename the rooms themselves. The remaining icon is the empty function that instructs the Q10 Pro to abandon the current run and return to the base station to empty the dust collector and recharge. Within the settings menu, you can manage your Q10 Pro's map, reset the robot to make a new run, or save the map to the robot's memory. You can schedule your robot's cleaning runs automatically based on your preferences. Voice settings enable you to change the language and volume of the robot for operational announcements and updates.
Start recharging.
Under base station settings, you can set whether the robot empties itself into the base station dust bag automatically. Also, you can set the frequency of when the robot will empty itself if you want to minimize the amount of noise. In the robot settings, you can set a schedule for when you don't want the robot to empty itself, make notification noises, or resume cleaning runs if it needs to recharge first. One very useful feature for larger homes is the ability to set whether the robot will continue a cleaning run if it has to recharge halfway through. Cleaning history just lists the cleaning runs by date and time. Manual controls gives you the ability to manually control the robot if you have a specific requirement to tackle one area of your home. Find My Robot helps locate the Q10 Pro if it's hidden from view for any reason. Maintenance enables you to track the status of your robot components with a view to replacement. Firmware Update has a toggle that commands the robots to automatically update itself. And finally, Sharing Settings enables you to share control of the robot with another registered user using their own app. As I've discussed in many of my other videos, I run a Google Smart Home with compatible devices. To connect the Q10 Pro to Google Home requires the use of a third-party app called SmartLife, which is a little bit unusual. Once you've installed the SmartLife app on your mobile device, you will then use the Home AIoT app credentials to connect it to your Google Home. Open the Google Home app and then navigate to the plus icon at the top of the app. Next, select Link App or Service, then click on Works with Google. Next, select SmartLife from the app list. It'll appear here after installation. If you already have the app installed on your mobile device, you'll need to choose Reconnect Account. If you're a first-time user, you will choose Link to Account and then tap Continue and agree and continue. The important next step is to choose Use Another Account to log in and not your SmartLife credentials. You'll then be able to enter your email address and the app will list the apps associated with your email address on your phone. Choose Home AIoT and now use your Home AIoT credentials to log in. You will then be redirected back to Google Home and then prompted to add the Q10 Pro to your smart home within the app, including adding the robot to the correct room in your house. Now you can use the Google Home app or voice commands via Gemini or Google Assistant to start the Q10 Pro. Or you can add the Q10 Pro to automations, including having the robot start cleaning when you leave home or other similar ideas. The Q10 Pro handles the cleaning of our hardwood floors well, easily dealing with the dust and the hair that accumulates, as well as the inevitable crumbs left by our kids. However, the Q10 Pro does struggle a little bit with our rabbit mat. The straw stuck in the mat makes it hard work even for our Shark handheld vacuum cleaner, which features almost 4 times the suction power at 18,400 pascals. My key takeaway is that the Q10 Pro is absolutely suited to lighter dirt, but if your home features more carpet, it'll require some consideration before purchase. The mopping function is really only intended to complement the dust collection and not intended for a deep cleaning. It has a maximum reservoir capacity of 250 millilitres, so it's mainly used to dampen the cloth mop to collect additional dust not sucked up by the robot in its wake. The small capacity reflects the fact that the Q10 Pro won't deep clean your rooms, and the manual recommends refilling the reservoir between each cleaning run. There isn't a larger refilling reservoir in the base unit. In terms of noise level, after a few sessions I noticed the unit is quieter than my Roomba J7 Plus, and it's a function of the less powerful motor. One benefit the Q10 Pro has over the Roomba J7 Plus, which is much more expensive, is the inclusion of the LiDAR navigation. I experimented with only running our J7 Plus at night time, but because the J7 Plus only uses cameras for navigation, it would often fail to complete a cleaning run because it couldn't see where it was going at night. By comparison, the addition of the LiDAR sensor in the Q10 Pro means the robot can operate at night time seamlessly, which is a great advantage. Overall, I'm impressed with the level of performance and features on the Airzeen Q10 Pro for the price. It cleans to my requirements on hardwood floors throughout the main level of my house. The mop function is suitable for additional dust collection and maybe light coffee or tea stains on the floor. However, it's not a vacuum cleaner that would potentially be useful in carpeted homes where additional power is required. Certainly, our own small mat outside of our rabbit's enclosure would test even the most powerful vacuum cleaner, and the Q10 Pro tries its best, but ultimately I'm still having to manually clean the area. One missing feature that would be useful is the ability to tell the Q10 Pro to skip a room during a scheduled run. For example, when watching TV, you don't want the robot cleaning around you while you're trying to listen to the audio. Right now, you can only interrupt and cancel a cleaning run, but there's no way to skip a room during an existing run. The Q10 Pro is highly recommended for homeowners with similar cleaning needs to myself, largely due to its competitive price and robust feature set. A key highlight is the LiDAR navigation for the price, which is excellent for setting up scheduled cleanings, particularly at night, in addition to its good overall cleaning performance. Thank you for watching, and as always, it would be great if you were to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on personal technology and the connected home.